Donald Trump's decisive win in Indiana comes after his big foreign policy speech last week. Joining us now, Trump's foreign policy advisor, Walid Phares. He's an expert on the Middle East and also a Fox News contributor, and he joins us now from our Washington, D.C. bureau. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Good morning.
Let's listen to Trump tonight on foreign policy.
We're the policemen for the world, how we protect other countries, and they don't respect us, and they don't take care of us, and they don't treat us right in many cases. And that's not going to happen. They have to respect us, and they have to understand where we're coming from. And, you know, it is a two-way street. And the two-way street means that we're going down one side, and they're coming up the other. And we're going to meet, and we are going to have something that's going to be really fabulous.
All right, so Trump says the U.S. protects other countries and they don't treat us right. So what would he do to change that?
Well, Patty Ann, he is now declaring that there will be a change, a significant change in U.S. foreign policy. And as he just said, in the way we're going to be dealing with partners and with foes. No more deals like the Iranian deal with foes. He want to renegotiate that. And also with partners, should they be in the Arab world or in Europe, we need to negotiate better deals for the future. The world has changed. NATO needs to adapt. Other coalitions will emerge. He doesn't want to be an isolationist. He wants to readapt what exists now to the current situation.
But now, is it possible? The Iran deal is a done deal. What leverage do we have? Can these deals actually be renegotiated?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, there have been many deals before. And way before, decades ago, and they have been renegotiated. I mean, when he says renegotiate, he means he's going to put some pressure. He's going to form some coalitions. He's going to be talking to many people. Remember, the speech also covered the fact that he will be speaking with the Russians. On the one hand, against ISIS, on the other hand, seek their support to renegotiate the deal with the Iranians, meaning he's going to have a complex approach to that deal to transform it either into a better deal or there will be a different policy towards Iran.
All right. You mentioned ISIS. As a terrorism expert, how would you advise Mr. Trump to fight ISIS?
Again, we're going to change direction. Number one, the goal should be not to contain ISIS, but to dismantle ISIS. And that means that there are going to be forces on the ground. Immediately we're going to say it doesn't have to be American troops, but we don't push any argument from the table. There could be options where we're going to use a little bit of those forces, but mostly Mr. Trump thinks that the coalition on the ground should be made by countries that have armies, and that's why we need to renegotiate with them.
All right. President Obama at the Correspondents' Dinner mocked Trump's foreign policy experience, and Trump is responding by insisting that he negotiates with foreign leaders frequently due to his business transactions. Can you elaborate on that?
Well, absolutely. Look, there are two ways to compare. First, on arrival. When Mrs. Clinton, before she becomes the First Lady, then the Senator, then the Secretary, arrives to politics, or Senator Obama at the time, did they know more about the world than when Mr. Trump arrived to politics some months ago? Of course, he knew more because, as he said, he, at the time, had many deals and negotiations and actions with foreign leaders. But that's not the issue. The issue is, when you are in government and you receive these amazing national intelligence estimates, it's what you do with them. I mean, the President and the Secretary of State have received tremendous amount of information. What did they do with that information for Libya, for Syria, for Iraq, for the Iran deal? That's a real comparison.
Yeah, you've just mentioned some of them, but if Trump goes head-to-head with Mrs. Clinton on foreign policy, what weaknesses of hers might he try to exploit?
Every single crisis that we're living right now has begun under her, continued under the current secretary, Mr. Kerry. So Mr. Trump will raise all these issues. And beyond that, he's going to ask her, what is your solution? He will have solutions, and he will ask her, what is your solution? We're looking forward for those debates.
All right. And he talked a lot about putting the U.S. first. It sounds logical enough for one country to say that, but some of our allies got a little nervous from that. Can you explain more about what he means by that?
I do understand that some of our allies got nervous. We've been speaking with many lawmakers, and we'll speak to more, and even officials, now that he's the potential nominee, or actually the almost nominee. They are concerned that he is an isolationist. He's not going to be cooperating with them. Absolutely the opposite. Actually, he's going to renew that system of alliances, including NATO and other alliances in other parts of the world. Basically, the principle is that everybody will have to share. And actually, Europeans themselves have been discussing that matter among themselves, between Western Europeans, Central Europeans, Eastern Europeans, about their share within NATO. Now we're going to widen that to the United States and Canada.
All right. Walid Phares, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Betty Ann.